This is the Speak and Glitch GND-1T desktop synthesizer. It's a phenomenal instrument with a lot of features. It's quite in-depth. However, in this short video, I'm just going to skip through some patches, activate a few of the different functions, and otherwise not talk much. You can play it with a MIDI controller. I have one plugged in to the USB host board on the back here. So I'm playing it with a MIDI keyboard that's off screen. And this is the initialized tone. You can store 1000 patches, and it's very fast to get through all 1000 with the knob turn. Using this constant tone, if I use the drift, we can demonstrate it. I'm going to set it to drift very quickly, the high drift depth, so it's changing dramatically. If I go over here and turn that drift depth down, we hear the sound that we heard initially, before we started drifting. We can manually morph to another patch. The current parameter set includes drift, and those drift offsets are still going to apply through this morph. Which means that the patch that we just morphed to is not identical to the actual saved patch because there are drift offsets. Let's store those drift offsets. Clear the drift. And this essentially is the sound that patch 271 should be. And if we morph back now to the original settings we came from, you'll hear that it's that constant tone again. If we load those drift offsets back on again, there you go. Clear them. Load them. Clear them. Let's start a new drift. And let's morph to a different patch. We don't have to morph manually, we can do it automatically. We'll clear that drift buffer. Let's morph back one. And let's go back again. Switch off the automatic morph there, and we're back in manual mode. If at any point we want to keep these settings, we can activate the save function, find the next available patch, and press save. And we retain our place in the morph. So even without diving into all of the many and varied features and functionalities that are available on the various pages, there are 12 pages here, each with 12 parameters. Even without diving into all that stuff, we can start doing pretty nuts things. Let's randomize the target that we're going to morph to. So now when I turn this, it's going to a random parameter set. So you don't even need to go in and edit parameters if you want to just use randomness. Sounds like this particular patch has modulation that is derived from the drums. In fact, there are modulation buses that mix between two different waveforms that you can select independently for each of the modulation buses. So if I turn up pitch modulation, right now it's being modulated by random 6 different random values that are coming from LFO1. And on the other side, let's set that to something immediately recognizable, like a sawtooth waveform. And this is our mix between our modulation. And this side is from LFO2. Let's revert this patch back to what it was before we made those edits. The encoders on this are very smooth and work very well to go very quickly from 0 to 127. Or you can go very slowly. The acceleration on them is actually very intuitive feeling. There are no onboard sequencer running on the GND-1T. All of the drums that are, all the rhythms that the drums are making are exclusively generated in real time by a mix between the audio output when drum source is set to 127 the drums are being triggered by the audio output. And when the drum source is set to 0, then the speech data is triggering it. Because I have ROM selected here. You can change that to the LFOs instead. And we can of course mix between the audio output and the ROM, the speech ROM data to generate triggers for the drums. Good fun.